Hi, my name is Nicole, and this is the CK Diary Podcast. Hey guys, I hope you are having a great week so far. I hope you had a great weekend. Ignore this over here. My 3-year-old got into my yarn room and started doing who knows what that is. I just noticed it and it's going to take a little bit to untangle, so I am just ignoring it for now. All right, so today I do have a finished object to show you. It is a finished sewn object. And then I have a couple of whips to show you. So I will show you my finished sewn object first. We went to Disney this past weekend, and I had just a little tiny, just like one of my normal drawstring pouches for my blanket project, but my blanket is getting too big now. It no longer fit in it. So I decided to make myself a tote. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It has a zipper on top. This is the most intricate bag that I have made since I started sewing about a year ago. So you open it up. I did put like a little piece of fabric here at the end of the zipper because I used a continuous zipper. You can just buy on Amazon, you can buy like yards and yards of zipper and just cut it where you need it. And so it didn't have like the metal stopper on the end. So I went ahead and just sewed a little piece of fabric there to help with that. I don't know if that's like a normal way to do a zipper stop. I didn't look it up. It was just convenient right then. So that's what I did. This pattern, I don't remember what it was called or who it was by, but I will put it down below. It came with a pattern for, they called it little project cubes, I think. But it's just a drawstring bag. I've always wanted to try where the drawstring was like, the half top of the bag, because I think they look cool. But I actually don't love the inside. I don't love that you can see this. I'm sure that there's a way. I could have just folded the fabric in half and had it that way. I'm sure there's other patterns where you don't just have like an unlined portion here, but that's the way that this one was written. So not my absolute favorite up there, but the outside of the bag is cute and the inside of the bag is lined. But it fits perfectly inside of this bag. And I have all of my yarn for the rest of my blanket in here. So it's got like a nice amount of room inside of it. And then on the other half of my project bag, I've got my blanket. So plenty. Oh, this is one of my whips. I guess I can show this to you right now. Whoop. This is my anthology throw that I'm making for my husband's friend. I've got quite a bit of work done on it since I showed it to you guys last week. Very happy with how it's turning out. I can't wait to open up all those eyelets. I think I'm like 35% of the way through with this. The anthology throw is by Curious Handmade. But the bag has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This bag has 10 pockets around it. It's got 3 on either side and then 2 on the sides. So that's really, really nice. All the pockets are kind of small. Like I use this as an example for a video that I made. Like my Notions pouch can fit in it, but it's a pretty tight squeeze. They also have a Notions pouch with this project, like with the pattern. The pattern was $9 on Etsy, and it came with, the pattern was for the project tote, the drawstring bag. She suggests to make 2, 1 for each side, but I only made 1, and then a Notions pouch. I haven't made the Notions pouch yet because you have to use a template for it, and I don't know how to use the template. There's like a bunch of lines on it, and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to cut the template versus where I'm supposed to cut the fabric and all of that good stuff. So I have to figure that out. I've never used a template for my sewing before. Let me see. What else was I gonna say about this? Oh, the pockets are kind of tiny except for these middle ones. I think, trying to think, was this a 6-inch pocket. It must not be. Is that 6 inches? Let's see. Yeah, it's about 6 inches. So that's nice. That's a nice wide pocket. And I thought this would be a nice place to keep my circulars because I've been looking for a spot. I don't know if I should keep them upside down where the needles are facing down. I'm worried that that will dull the tip of the needles, but it's probably not super safe for me to keep them pointed up. But either way, it's nice to have all the pockets in this bag on the outside. I'd like to have an inside pocket. I might, if I make another one of these bags, which I probably will because it's really nice, I'll probably add a pocket on the inside. But this was just made with leftover fabric that I had laying around. This is just a canvas fabric from Joann's. This is a Rifle Paper Company fabric that I used for project bags for my Etsy shop last year. And then the liner is the same as the handles. Again, it's a cotton, quilting cotton from Joann's. But I'm super happy with how that turned out. All right, let's see. I have one more whip to show you. This is the leaflet by Justina. I can't remember her last name. I think it's Lorenska maybe. I've tried to make this previously for my brother's girlfriend for Christmas last year, but I didn't have enough time to finish it. I started it too late. This time I have until August. I talked about this last week that I was gonna start a shawl. And I originally thought I had until July 5th, but they moved our barbecue. So I think it'll either be at the end of July or in August at some point. So I'll have a little bit more time to work on this. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. So it's like a cable going down the middle and then little lace work around it. I had another pattern that I had purchased to make her, but I can't remember why. Why did I stop making it? I think I just didn't it was a really open gauge. So my yarn kept falling off my needles and I was getting really frustrated. It happened like 3 times. And then at one point it fell off the needles and a few stitches fell out and I didn't know how to fix it. And I had to restart the pattern like 3 times. I can't remember why, but the last time I had to restart was because the stitches fell off my needles and I didn't know how to fix it. So I restarted it and then it happened again. And I was like, you know what? I can't function with this. I'm not having fun right now. I might need to do it with like wooden needles maybe. So it's a little bit grippier, but I don't love wooden needles, but I think the open gauge was just a little too much for me. It had me using this yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn and 3.75 millimeter needles. And it was just a lot. This is made with 3 millimeter needles. The gauge is not quite as open and I quite like it. But this too, I'm excited to block so I can see that lace work. The little leaves open up. See the leaf there. And that is it. I have a couple of acquisitions to show you. We went to Orlando and it just happened, we were going for Disney and it just happened to be local yarn store day on the Saturday that we were there this past Saturday. And I didn't realize, and we were going home on Saturday and there's a yarn shop in Orlando called Necessities that opened a little over a year ago, I think it's, or maybe it's around 2 years now. I went, not this past Orange Blossom yarn crawl, but 2 Orange Blossom yarn crawls ago, which is the Central Florida yarn crawl. I didn't go this past year, but the year before, and they had just recently opened, I think they said. But we stopped there and I got a yarn, actually, let me pull my bag back up because one of the yarns that I got was in here. I got another yarn for my blanket that I'm making because I think I was just 50 grams short of what I needed. And so that's what I got. This is Midnight by Knitting for Olive. It is just their 100% merino yarn. And it's this really pretty grayish, bluish black color. I'm excited about that. And then I just got a bunch of small things. I've been looking for metal cable needles, thin metal cable needles, because the ones that I have are really thick. And I found them there. They are from Coco Knits, and they were only $6. I was going to order these online a while ago, But then it's $6 for the cable needles, and then you have to pay like $9 for shipping. And that just didn't make sense to my brain. So I didn't do it. I used cable needles that I had here, but they were really, really thick. So it wasn't great for my fingering weight yarn. So I'm glad that I've got these now. And then I also got 2 sets of needles. I got a 3.5 millimeter 32 circular, 32-inch circular, and a 3.75 millimeter 32-inch circular. And I got that for the original shawl that I was working on that I'm not working on now. So I really didn't need those, but I'm sure I will use them sometime in the future. And then with my purchase, since it was local yarn store day, they were giving away little goodies. So I got this sample of this soak. It's called Soak. It is a scentless wool wash. I purchased a thing of Soak previously, but I've never used it. I purchased the Soak. I made my friend a shawl, and I purchased her the wool wash, but I think she's going to use something else. But they had this little sample. The other one that I had a scent. So this one's the scentless, which is nice. Good for sensitive skin, it says. And then they also gave me this cute little stitch marker. Let me take it out of the bag. Can't even see it. There it is. A little star with a pink ball in the middle. But yeah, that was it for necessities. It's a really cute shop right next to a Chick-fil-A, so that was nice. I dropped my husband and the boys off at Chick-fil-A, and they ordered food while I went and ran over to necessities really quick. I wasn't there that long. They were still eating whenever I got back. And I think that's it. That's all I have to share with you this week. At Disney, I posted about this on my Instagram story. I lost my knitting bag. It was ridiculous, but I cried and I was so upset because it had the blanket in it that I had been working on, the anthology throw, and I had already put so many hours, tens of hours into this blanket. So I was really bummed. And it had this special yarn in it that Stitchin' with Yarn dyed for the bag drop that I did in, I think that was November. She had a yarn for a yarn that matched the fabric that I made the bags with. So I was really, really bummed. And I noticed it almost immediately. Like within 30 minutes of losing it, I realized that I lost it. So I started going back. We were already walking out, like they were starting to close the park down. So we were already walking out, and I turned around to go back, and they wouldn't let me into the section where I had lost it. They said that they were already closed, and they told me to go to guest relations. So I went to guest relations. We asked them about it, and they told me that they hadn't found anything yet, that nothing was brought to them, but to fill out like a little lost and found card. And I was really bummed because I was like, there's no way they're gonna find it, or they might find it, but there's no way it's gonna get back to lost and found. I mean, it's Disney. And they were talking about how like all of the parks and all of the hotels that Disney owns, they put all of the lost and found together at Disney Springs. And then if your item comes up, they'll send you an email. And I was like, there's no way. Like there's got to be hundreds of things, if not thousands of things that they find every day. So we filled it out anyway, just in case. And then I went on Reddit and was searching about like lost Disney items, if they're ever actually found. And there was like threads and threads of people saying that Disney's lost and found system is incredible. Like one guy said that they found his credit card, which is crazy. People, sunglasses, hats, like, oh, you name it. The smallest thing to the biggest thing, they were finding them. So that gave me a little bit of hope, especially because like nobody's gonna, if I like dropped it in the middle of the walkway, nobody's gonna steal a small drawstring pouch with a blanket in it. I'd probably be more concerned about my credit card or a watch or something. But anyway, so I started feeling really hopeful. And then the next day, I still hadn't gotten an email because they have people, I guess, that work all night with the lost and found stuff. Like I was getting emails about like updates all night long. I don't know if that's just like an automated thing or not. But anyway, so the next morning, I went, as soon as the park opened, we went and asked guest relations again if they had found anything. And she said that they found a bag that had a similar description as to what I told them. So she was going to call Disney Springs about it to see if they could speed up the process of, because they entered them in based on like what they think is the most expensive to the least expensive items. So she emailed Disney Springs to see if she called them to see if they could hurry along the process for this particular bag since it matched my description. And I think less than an hour later, I got an email that they had my item and that I could come pick it up. And I went and picked it up. And I was so excited. It went so much better than I thought it was going to go. So if you ever are at Disney World and you lose something, do not lose hope. They will probably find it. But yeah, I think that is it. Trying to think if we have anything exciting going on this week. Not really. It's hot. We were at the pool this morning. It is so funny seeing people like post pictures of like their gardens coming to life and snow. Like we have one friend that lives in Colorado that had snow fairly recently, and it is like 90 degrees here, and we just went to the pool this morning. It's ridiculous. It was actually kind of breezy today, which is nice. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I could have to talk about because this was really short today. But I think that's it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I always enjoy coming on here and chatting with you guys and sharing what I'm making, and I appreciate you being here. Let me know down below what you're working on today. I love seeing the things that you guys are making, and I get a lot of pattern inspiration from people just sharing what they're working on. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.